Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today on the No Hope Estate, we're going to be doing something that's very much against my better judgment, but I've already gone all in on it. So, yeah, if you can't see, our supplies have plummeted since the last episode. So we are going to be fighting the Swine King, much against my better judgment on this episode today. That's why we have these four good folk here, veterans, lined up. And that's why I'm about 40,000 gold shorter, and we're missing basically portraits, we have no deeds, we have no crests, and suddenly our comet shards are essentially gone when we had almost 200 of them. Essentially what I did was I bought the guild upgrade since we had enough for that. So as you can see, guild rank 4 instead of 5. But then I didn't have enough crests for the next thing, which would have been the weaponsmithing upgrade, although we did have deeds for it, so I spent a lot of comet shards buying crests and got the weaponsmithing upgrade. But then we didn't have any more crests or deeds for the armor smithing, so that's where all of the comet shards went, and then I was able to get everyone their upgrades here. So that's where all of those supplies went. Now, we're set up for the Swine King. I want to fully state this in advance. This is the No Hope Estate, where I don't combat heal, we don't stress heal in combat, and there is no stunning allowed. I have not done a veteran dungeon yet. We have only done apprentices, which have been going fairly well recently. So not dipping my toes into veteran and suddenly going for a veteran boss is probably not a good idea. I am fully willing to admit that and fully willing to take this risk. So for today's group, we're going to be going in with some of our best people. So we're going to be having Pernicosis the Lawbringer. He has a lot of attacks, he can do a lot of damage, and most importantly, he is very, very tanky. So the plan is actually for him to be taking at least one hit a turn, hopefully from the Swine King. If he can do that, the Stone Clamshell shield gives him plus protection. I don't really care about the knockback, however that does help for the plan of getting to the Swine King itself. It also gives, on being hit, the debuff of minus accuracy and minus crit to whatever hits him. So hopefully this will be landing on the Swine King. That way, when the Swine King hits him, he's less likely to hit on subsequent hits, and less likely to crit on them if he does hit. On top of that, we have a few people who can do bleeding. So we have the Bloody Feather because Pernicosis the Lawbringer can do some good bleeding damage. So this just ups his damage versus anything that's bleeding. If there's a monster corpse on the way to the Swine Prince, or I guess it's the Swine King, he also does plus damage. After that, we have Ferreres, our Saw Hunter. Now the plan here is we're going to have Hunter Salutations. This is going to bump up the dodge to roughly about 40, I believe. So he's going to have a very good dodge rate, and then he has an awesome crit rate on top of that where he can dodge, at least do some damage back, if not high damage with a crit back. Then on top of that, we have Bloodletting Teeth to do bleeding damage, Into the Wound to do damage versus bleeding, and Serrated Knife to do bleeding to the back 2 rows. We have the Crystallizing Cold Blood to up his just base crit rate. His riposte will do more damage, but also lowers the riposte accuracy. Then we have Robin's Head on him, so his riposte has more crit rate. We then have Hush, the Uncrowned. So, few things we have going here. We can ambush, ignore Aegis, ignore riposte, few good things there. If I want to open with a bleed and a silence, we can do that. Otherwise, we have Hemorrhage, which debuffs the target to take more damage. We can do Poison Knife, which will do a blighting attack. Also, the next attack will do blighting and does extra damage versus anything that's already blighted. Everscrate as a finisher, ignoring guard, or Fan of Knives just doing an AoE to finish off the fight. We then have Zanzil's Altered Mixture on him, so he does plus 25% blight amount per combo point up to 100%, and on ranged attack, which is Poison Knife or Fan of Knives. All other enemies will get a 2 for 3 blight, but with full combo points, that's going to be a 4 for 3 blight. Then we have the Thieves Tool, so he has a plus blight and trap disarm chance. And finally, we have Esmeralda, the Omen Seeker. She's going to be more utility based, but she's also going to be bleeding for me and debuffing for minus debuff resistance, with Entangle also pulling. Sapping Charge can lower damage. Piercing Dagger can lower protection, also bleeding. We have the Ancestors map for scouting and trap disarm. And finally, Magic's Head, which ups her debuff chance on all of her debuffing moves, as well as lowering the dodge while the enemy is bladed, which Hush will be doing. Now, I did just realize I forgot a few camp skills here. I want to grab these here really, really quickly. So we're going to grab Yarnum Spar. I guess that's it. I thought there was more. And then we have a prevent nighttime ambush, so that's fine. That's going to be the plan. I'm not sure we're going to get through this fight, but if I do get through it, the main reason I wanted to do this is I really, really need 2 districts, or 2 blueprints. One for the Sanguine Vintners. I'm not sure how soon I need this, but I will be needing it shortly, just so I can ignore the Baron until I am ready for him. That way I don't need to like get the cure or the go fight him to cure the curse. I can just have the blood set aside, because I do not want to have to go into the Crimson Courtyard's like courtyard until I am ready. And that also saves me from having to go just farm the blood. Then I also want the granary, just because the food is basically what's saving me half these runs. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing going into veterans and champions, but that's what's been saving my butt in apprentices. So granary is going to be huge, I think. We'll see if that stays the case. This is really going to be a test run on that, so we're going to see. I'm taking all the food, and then anything that can save my butt. Let's go.
My first attempts at summoning were crude, and the results disappointing. I soon found, however, that the type and condition of the host's meat was a critical factor. The best results came from pigs, whose flesh is most like that of man. A nameless abomination.
Well, we know where he is.
Testament to my failures.
Let's go up.
Be destroyed.
The best case scenario is as little fights as I can get along the way. That's just some bad luck, but at least we surprised him even though we stumbled upon the trap. So I'm going to open with ambush. Let's hit row 3. We got 15 health apiece, so it's not horrible.
A faint hope blossoms.
Piercing Dagger does the... Yeah, Piercing Dagger takes out row 3. Let's do that.
Broken. Maintain the offensive.
Bloodletting Teeth into row 2. It's bleeding. I'm going to long arm 4. That pulls it. And if I Ignis Ember, we take out row 2, do damage to row 3.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Yikes. All on Hush, huh? Who also gets blighted. So we're going to get rid of that blight. By Poison Knife, we probably take out 4.
Continually
I was really hoping there.
Destroy them all.
Esmeralda can do that. Bloodletting Teeth on 2. Entangle taking out 4.
Disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
Anti-venoming that off. We're going to long arm to pull. And we can't hit him. Unfortunate. So take out Corpse. And then we can take him out. Alright, got some food. We're gonna heal Hush, take Bus. We really need those. Default party order. Continue on. Beelining it towards that boss. On the safest path possible. If I go up and then left, there's 2 fights. If I just go left, there's 1 fight that I know of. So we'll do this. Come on. 90% chance to disarm on Ferreres, so let's get some stress down on him. Ooh, do I want to get Ashen or Misses the Spot off, or do I want to get Slow Draw or God-Fearing? I think let's try to go for Slow Draw. We got God-Fearing, which, I mean, isn't bad to get off. Rotgut Giant. I thought this was, I really thought that the Rotgut Giant was champion only, because the masher should only be pulling certain modded mash, whatever the mod is, should only be pulling files for, like, if this monster is in champion only, we're only going to put this monster in champion. That's why I was having problems with the Seraph. So the fact that the Rotgut Giant is here, not saying that he's not a cool enemy, but I think I should only be fighting him in champion. So I guess there is a veteran Rotgut. I just checked the files for the Bristle and Bone. I totally forgot about that, unless they removed that in the final version and kept the actual file for it, which would have been odd. But okay, he is a thing. I just did verify that, so 102 health. That's gonna be a thing to rip through. Let's get the Corpse Eater first, and then we can go from there. Piercing Dagger, let's bleed the Thrall, because that also gets rid of its protection. And I have a plan from there. So if I shove the Corpse Eater, I was actually hoping that would get it down. Backup plan. Ignis Ember. Carrion Eater down. Into the wound on Thrall. Poisoned Knife. Let's go onto the Rotgut Giant.
Decisive pummeling.
Because then it blights everyone else as well. A Piercing Dagger onto the Thrall. It might drop to dots. And then I can Serrated Knife onto the Rotgut. Get him bleeding.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Minus protection is not nice. Shoving him. And Swift Justice does up to 24 right now. We're gonna do that. And just slowly beat him down. I think that's gonna be the path. So 14. Into the Wound does 19. We can do that. Poison Knife does 11. Now we can just Everscrate finish him off. There we go.
Size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
I mean, finding your mark on him isn't that hard considering his intestines were spilling out, right? Alright, taking the crest, gonna trade the citrines out for the onyx, take the money. Default party order. So there's no enemies in this hallway, then one, nothing here, then possibly one fight on the way to the boss. So if I camp here, then take this damage buff, I think I'm good. Let's do that. Peace for the health and the stress.
It's a goal without hope.
So I'm going to Yarnum Spar. This gives me crit, this gives me dodge. So we're going to do that with Hush. Then we're going to do Safe and Sound, just to prevent nighttime ambush. We're going to do Battle Ready for the plus protection plus riposted damage, unless something else gives me a lot better of something. Brew Poisons plus 25% damage will Poison Knife after. We're going to do that. Just a little Dust of Decay. That sounds frightening.
The light. The
Okay, and then the damage is going to go on Hush. So plus 15% damage, 10 accuracy, 5 crit until camp. And then 5 accuracy, 5 crit, 10 accuracy, 30% blight chance for 4 battles. Range skills plus 10% crit. He's stacked right now. Digging through this.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Going on in. Debating which way I want to go. I think this is going to be the safer way, going to the left. Oh, unstable Flayer. Good thing I don't have a head trinket. We are going to get rid of it, though, I think, first. Ambushing it. There we go. And then we're going to shove on the Leech. Swift Justice it. Into the... or, that's Bloodletting Teeth, not into the wound. Okay. Now just these buggers left. Probably not going to bleed them. So 50-50. Then I only do 3 bleed. We'll go for it. And then this takes him out, so Bloodletting Teeth. Then I can just... first we'll do Anti-Venom. Then just Finisher, take it out.
Decimated.
Want the Warrior Bracer, we'll take the money.
Triumphant pride.
And we can take them both. Okay, cool.
Fall.
Can use this bandage just to get rid of it. Take the Hound Whistle for now, take the money. Gonna use that food to heal up, so we can take the rest of the money, use the torch, go in here. Then we go up to the boss. Before we go up to the boss... Hidden room. Key. Gonna get rid of some of the torches here.
In radiance, may we find
Gonna get rid of the stack of gold. Gonna get rid of the whistle. Now up to the boss. Okay, this one might be interesting. We're gonna ambush and hit the Flayer. Next turn, we Poison Dagger the Devourer there. Gonna get rid of the protection with the knife. Shoving the Flayer before we Swift Justice on it. And then... let's Hunter's Salutation see what hits him. I didn't mean literally see what hits him. I meant, like, go for the repose, but...
grievous injury. Palpable fear.
Okay. Poison Knife will hit the Spinal Devourer. This should blight the Gorer as well. Actually takes him out nice. Then Serrated Knife just hitting these two, hopefully bleeding the Carrion Eater there. Cool.
Death by inches.
And then Piercing Dagger the Carrion Eater. It goes down, just Devourer left. Yikes. Even with that 34 dodge. Okay. Anti-Venom Bandage. Then we can shove into Swift Justice. There's his Aegis. Minus that protection. Bandage on Hush. Poison Knife again, he goes down. Bloodletting Teeth. Hey, Twisted Spines, plus protection if HP above 75,
Into the mud.
50, and 25. So I think that means we get a grand total of plus 45 protection if HP is above 75%. And damage received plus 15% if HP below 25. I mean, there is a way of testing that. You know, realistically, I don't plan on doing too much past the boss here. So what I could do is just smash the food here. Take this. Can toss the shovels for the warrior cap, which is going to be helpful for some other people. Toss the keys for the portraits. Take the onyx. We're good. See if I get anything out of this. Can't heal anyone, right? Okay. I don't think we're gonna get blighted. Okay, boss time. Holy water on everyone. I did want to see this here really quick. So since the Ancestors map isn't going to be helping me too much, plus 45% protection, yeah. So we'll give her that. It is -2 speed, but this is a slower fight, so we're fine with that. Let's go.
It is a travesty.
Bit of squeal.
Mountain of hatred and
Oh, stun. Lovely. Oh, okay. Ambush on the king. Probably should have done Garrote for the bleed, but eh. Piercing dagger. Let's bleed the king, and then I can lower his damage by 28%. Maybe we do that. And then we're gonna shove.
a powerful blow.
I'm gonna open up with the Juggernaut just to get the riposte. Yeah, that hurt just a bit. Screw your squeal. So I could theoretically, like, screw his damage. Debuff didn't really go off. 56% actually. I think it's working. Poison knife. So if we get him blighted, Hush pops off. And he only has a 20% resistance, so 5 blight, 3 rounds. They're targeted again, so he's going to be the one they pop off at, but I'd still like to get Hunter Salutation off. He still hit.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Okay. Well, shove. And then Swift Justice for the damage. Oh, screw you. Okay, at least it missed. Then we're gonna do Bloodletting Teeth for the bleed. Also, that crit is amazing.
This is no place.
You really did end that one, huh?
Hardy.
Piercing dagger for the bleed. Then if we add Mortem, he's not sitting there very well. Nice little riposte. Bit of squeal. We're stunned. What would this hit for? 100% crits, so that would probably go to about 17. Now we'll piercing dagger again. So is that 31? And now the fun begins. Hunter salutations. He bleeds out. And into the wound.
The thing is even more horrible than death. Liquefaction cannot come soon enough.
Okay, let's take our stuff back. Take that blueprint that we came here for. Is there anything else we can kind of get rid of here? Take what we can. Like I said, I wasn't planning on going too much farther in here. So
The way is lit.
can probably just
Path
drop
is
this
clear.
stuff.
We require only the strength to follow it.
So do you think while we were fighting him, the king was more or less just on that chair with like half of his torso just blubbering off of it? And then he just kind of picks up that axe and starts swinging at you with what's in reach. And Wilbur just goes, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can kind of see it in this room. It's kind of fun. But we got what we came for. It did cost us Hush, but we did get the blueprint that we need. It's amazing. So let's get out of here. So 20,000 gold, blueprint, a restart on our heirloom collection, and we did get a fixated feather. So that's plus 9 crit, plus 25% resolve experience, so that helps us with leveling people up again. More portraits, more deeds. Survivors hit level 4 except for Esmeralda. We got a Torn Rotator, which kind of makes sense, because, you know, what you're doing in that fight, it would make sense that you either strained yourself and did that, or like that cleaver did some damage to you. Esmeralda somehow got rabies, but she's also malicious after that, so a little bit of treatment. Night blindness, which isn't bad on Ferreras. Oh, Esmeralda actually didn't hit level 4, but that's fine.
The plume and the pistol.
So Esmeralda, medical ward,
Folly.
Pernicosis,
And the curse
get rid of Torn Rotator, because most of your stuff is melee. We did lose a level 3, so let's check this. I'm going to take the extra half foot for now. I don't think we have... Oh, we do have another Uncrowned, just to fill the gap there. So we will have to level them up. I'm really tempted to get that Ancestor's Letter Opener. It's really good for a lot of different reasons. I'm gonna nab it. So now, the next thing on the agenda would be to get one, I need a lot more busts, but then to another boss. So, we'll see what I can do about that. But there's not another veteran boss that I am comfortable taking on. The only 2 veteran bosses available to me are the Baron, which I said I'm not going to do for a while, and then the Corrupted Epicenter, which is a really nasty boss, which I'm not comfortable taking on with anyone that I have available to me. And I guess I do have the Time Rye Miller, but that's another one that could be really rough. Like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable doing that either. But that was an interesting fight. I actually wasn't sure I was going to get through that. I knew if he was going to hit me, and the fact that he hit one of my highest dodge characters every single time and obliterated them is kind of rough. Kind of sets the precedent that I can't rely on dodge entirely. I mean, it's really nice, but if I'm gonna go that much on dodge, I need to have that... Where is it? Let me go find it, and I'll pop back. This trinket here, which would up the Uncrowned's dodge a lot more when I'm relying on them to dodge every single hit to stay alive, because it's not like I was actually relying too much on the Thieves' Tools for the actual boss fight itself. So I don't know. I probably should go get this. I just didn't have the Comet Shards to both get this and have the gear and skills to go fight that. So I figured it was better for me to go have the skills and the weapons and the armor to fight the Swine Prince, or the Swine King, rather than one trinket, you know? I thought that would be the difference. Next time, or going on until I, like, find another boss that I'm comfortable fighting, which will probably be the Flesh Boss or the Necromancer. I'll probably just be doing more heirloom hunting things, because, well, I need a lot of busts now. I need a lot of busts. So that's probably going to be the future for a little while, while I level up everyone to get to where I need. We do have the Wizened Hag available as well as the Rotten Prize, but I just haven't seen the best trinkets available for her. So I've just been kind of hanging on to her until, you know, she's one of the, either the last things there, or I see a trinket I want. So that's kind of why I just haven't gone to fight her. Getting to the end of where the apprentice bosses are, so kind of happy with the progress. I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy with the progress so far. But that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. And otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please have a good one.